I'm going to walk you through a keyword search and just pretend like I'm creating a gluten-free cookbook, and we're going to try to decide on 7 back-end keywords that we're going to put in for our book listing, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is type in gluten-free cookbook. Now this is probably already pretty high competition, so this isn't necessarily the best niche to go into in the first place. However, if we can find some keywords that aren't very high competition, then we may have a chance at selling some gluten-free cookbooks. I'm going to come down here and pick one of these cookbooks that looks the closest to the gluten-free cookbook that I made, my fake gluten-free cookbook that I didn't actually make. And this one looks pretty good, okay? The Easy Gluten-Free Cookbook. It's got a lot of reviews. It's doing pretty well. And I'm just going to copy the ASIN right here. Copy, I just did Control-C or Command-C. Then I come over to Helium 10 and I'm under the Cerebro tool. And I'm going to pop that in here. I'm also going to show you guys a free way of doing the keyword research as well for your 7 backend keywords, but right now this is the easiest way for us to do it, is by putting this ASIN into Cerebro. Then we're going to say get keywords, and it's going to tell us the keywords that that book is ranking for. And then we're going to want to filter it. I really like to filter it based on CPR because this tells me that I only need to sell 8 books every week in order to rank for that keyword. So that's going to be kind of an easy way for me to start. However, if there's not a lot of search volume for that keyword, it's going to be really hard for me to sell 8 books a month unless I'm running external ads to it. But at the same time, ranking for that keyword, for a keyword that has a low search volume, doesn't necessarily benefit me on Amazon. I want to be ranking for keywords that people are actively searching for on a regular basis, because that means that people are going to find me on the front page of their search results regularly. Okay, this is the whole point of this keyword search and everything, is for us to get more sales on Amazon. If we're just going to be 100% relying on external sales and, you know, Facebook ads and Instagram ads and our podcasts that we have and our YouTube channels, and then none of this really matters. So the reason why we're doing this keyword research is so we can rank organically in Amazon and have people find our books when they type in certain search terms, right? So I would need to do a lot of research, and this could take a long time for me to really find 7 keywords that I really love. But let's just do a quick search, a quick run through and pick 7 keywords that look pretty good. Now, I just sorted it according to the Cerebro IQ score, and this high Cerebro IQ score again means that it's low competition. As you can see, there's only one competing product here, but it's a relatively high search volume compared to that competing product. Okay, 28-day Mediterranean diet, good housekeeping. So, and as you can see, that I only have to sell 8 books a day to rank for that keyword. So that could be a decent one. It could, 347 is a pretty good search volume. The only problem is that this sounds like the title of a book, and you can't actually put the title of a book in your 7 backend keywords. You can run ads to it in Amazon ads, but you cannot use it for your 7 backend keywords. So let's click on it and make sure it's not the title of a book. And I actually don't see it, but see, these are sponsored. Okay, here we go. Good housekeeping Mediterranean diet made easy. Back to Cerebro. Good housekeeping is a brand, okay? So I cannot use that. Now, 28-day Mediterranean diet, I could possibly use, because I'm not actually seeing that title here unless I skipped over it. Oh, see, it's got this 28-day kickstart plan. So, oh, here we go, 28-day Mediterranean diet. Yeah, so that one I wouldn't use, because it definitely sounds like it's got the brand, it's got good housekeeping in there, and then it's got a title of a book or books. Ice cream has nothing to do with the book, so obviously that's not going to work. Crave brilliantly indulgent recipes. That sounds like a book title as well. Yeah, it is. Soup box cookbook. Okay, now see, I'm having a hard time finding good keywords that are also relevant by sorting by the Cerebral IQ score. I'm going to come over to the other side here and click on organic rank just to find some keywords that are really relevant, because that book that I just looked up is ranking organically. It's at the top of the very top of the page for Easy Gluten-Free Cookbook, probably because it is the Easy Gluten-Free Cookbook. Cookist Wow Cookbook, Gluten-Free Wishlist Cookbook, Recipes Gluten-Free. Now this one here, Gluten-Free Wishlist Cookbook, let's see if that one is the title of a book. Okay, it is Gluten-Free Wishlist. Like I said, this is kind of a high competition keyword because there are a lot of gluten-free cookbooks out there. Recipes gluten-free. How can it be gluten-free cookbook? A lot of these seem to be titles, don't they? Best gluten-free cookbooks. Okay, so here's an example of one. It doesn't have a very high Cerebral IQ score. It has a pretty decent search volume, 495, and the competing products honestly isn't that bad. Really, if you have less than 4,000 competing products, that's pretty good. Plus, you only have to sell 9 books per month in order to rank at the top half of the first page of search results. So this actually looks like a really good keyword to me. So what I would do is I would select this and then say add keywords to my list. And then I would create a new folder and title this 7 Backend Keywords for Gluten-Free Cookbook. And then I would say save. And then I would keep looking until I found 6 other keywords that look pretty good. Then the other option that I can do instead of doing Cerebro is going to Magnet. Cerebro is nice because I'm looking at keywords that an already well-selling book is ranking for. And so that's a pretty quick way of doing the keyword research, but I can also use Magnet. Type in gluten-free cookbook, get keywords, load from history. And then do the same thing. So I could rank for search volume. And then obviously ice cream doesn't relate. Gluten-free has a huge search volume and actually not a horrible IQ score, but there's a lot of competing products. So I'm just going to keep looking until I find something that looks pretty good, but it's not the title of a book. Then once I get my 7 backend keywords, I can go ahead and plug them in. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some free options as well. Earlier, I had you guys download some additional Chrome extensions to help you with free keyword research. And one of them is Self-Publishing Titans, and it shows up here on your Amazon account. So this one we're going to rely on pretty heavily when we're doing free keyword research. So I typed in the word gluten-free cookbook because that's what I'm trying to look up. And this is a keyword, okay? So a lot of this is going to be pretty manual. I don't have an automated list of keywords that's being given to me. However, because I have my AMZ suggestion expander as well, then I have all these different suggestions that do pop up, and I can start looking into some of these. So maybe when I type in gluten-free cookbook, then, okay, so bestsellers I can't put in my 7 backend keywords. Gluten-free cookbook for kids, gluten-free cookbooks, bestsellers, gluten-free cookbooks for beginners, gluten-free cookbook with pictures. Some of these I could jot down and do some keyword research on them. But let's start with gluten-free cookbook. Now, I like to put these in some sort of Excel spreadsheet, and I did include a keyword planner printable for you guys in this course. So you can go ahead and grab that underneath the lesson. And for me, it is nice to have it actually printed out because then I don't have to be constantly going back and forth between my tabs like this and recording the results that I'm getting or the information that I'm getting, which is why I wanted to create it as a printable format. You know, this would be really easy for you guys to put together if you do prefer the electronic format. All I have here are a number of search results, keyword niche score, BSR, average reviews, is somebody already dominating the niche, and can I compete? And when I take a look at this keyword, I just typed in the keyword gluten-free cookbook. I'm going to look at the search results, okay? Over 7,000 search results. Specifically, I've got 7,244. I don't need to be super specific, so I'm just going to type 7,000. My keyword niche score is right here, 53. And if you hover over this, it's going to tell you that anything with a score of 60 or higher is really good. So 53 isn't horrible, but it's also not the best. So let's say 53. The BSR, the average BSR for the search results on this page is 84,904, which is really good. That means that these books are selling, which means that it is a high demand category, right? What do we say? It was like 84,000, about 85,000. Average reviews is 1,096. That just means it's going to be a little bit harder to compete with these books because it's going to take you a while to get up to 1,000 reviews. So people may take a look at these books first. You know, if you're trying to get onto this front page here for Gluten-Free Cookbook, when they come and find Gluten-Free Cookbook, they're going to see all these cookbooks that have thousands of reviews, and they're more likely to be purchased. Then if I come back over here, is somebody already dominating the niche? The answer is yes. Okay, there's already all these editors' picks here. They've got thousands of reviews, like I said, even though these are sponsored. And even down here, the ones that aren't sponsored have a lot of reviews, except for this one. So as you can see, you can rank on the first page, but if I had to choose between each of these cookbooks, which one I was going to buy, it'd probably be one of these ones, right? This, I'm guessing, I don't know. Maybe you guys know these people, but you see how expensive that is? It's a hardcover, which hardcovers do cost a lot more to print through Amazon, especially if they're in color, and usually cookbooks are in color. So that's probably why it's so expensive, but the fact that it's showing up here and it seems to be selling pretty well, it's entirely possible that they're running a lot of ads to this externally, like through Facebook, or they already have some sort of following, and so they're driving traffic through that following. That's my guess. And is someone already dominating the niche? Yes. Can I compete? Probably not. I could try, but it's just going to be hard. So I'm just going to say hard. That would be a very challenging keyword to try to compete in. And I'm not going to do this a whole lot. Let's just try one more using our search expander. Gluten-free cookbook, healthy. That seems like an interesting one. Ooh, interesting. This one actually has more search results. So I don't want to have more search results, but I am interested to see what the self-publishing Titan's score is. So let's wait and see what loads here. And while it's loading, let's pick another one that we're going to take a look at. Actually, let's just wait. So we can go ahead and come down here and see if somebody's already dominating the niche. Sponsored ads already don't have as many reviews, so that's good. Ooh, yeah, but somebody is definitely dominating the niche here. Look at that, 7,000 reviews, that's crazy. That one doesn't have any reviews though, but it's also not selling. You see this BSR, 1 million, that's a very low BSR, which means that it's not selling very well. Same thing with this one, it's not really selling all that well. Okay, so we've taken a look at that. Yeah, see 31 keyword niche score, that's really not good. So let's go ahead and delete that and let's try looking up a different one. Gluten-free cookbooks for beginners, that sounds interesting. Oh, see, this one is good. For the search results, it only has 2,000. So I'd come over here and say, oh, I forgot to actually type the keyword. Oh my goodness. So this is our keyword here. And this was gluten-free cookbook. And this is gluten-free cookbooks for beginners. And it only had 2,000 search results, which is really way better than gluten-free cookbook. The keyword niche score is still loading. So let's take BSR is still loading, average reviews still loading. Is someone already dominating the niche? That's not too bad. These are sponsored. Yeah, this isn't as bad. This one's showing up again on the front page, but that's the only one that really has a huge amount of reviews. Okay, we do have a few down here. I see this one's showing up again. But the ones that are at the very top don't have as many reviews. So this one looks like it'd be easier to place, to rank on, to actually show up. Okay, that's not too bad. And you can see a lot of these are still selling pretty well. Cookbooks do really well on Amazon, relatively speaking. Keyword score of 56, so that's a little bit better. Still not up to 60, but it's better. The average BSR is 216,000, which just means that the books on this page aren't selling as well. These ones were selling really well, but they're also more competitive. But we do know that gluten-free cookbooks sell pretty well. So this isn't horrible to note. It just means that the average is kind of bad. Because you've got some that are selling really well, like 15,000 BSR, and then some that are kind of bringing down that average, which is funny because this has nothing to do with gluten-free cookbooks. So this one, because it shows up on this page, is bringing down that average. That's a horrible BSR. And so I don't know, if we could remove this anomaly, then it would bump up the BSR a little bit. Average reviews, if we come up here, 770. See, that's not as high. A little bit easier to compete with. Someone dominating the niche, yeah, technically, but she doesn't pop up at the top of the search results here anymore. She's a little bit further down, so it'd be a little bit easier to compete. So I'm gonna say yes-ish because it's a little bit easier. Can I compete? Yeah, I think I could, right? And this is how, as you can see, this takes a lot longer because I'm having to come up with the keywords myself, and I'm not getting all the automated ideas that pop up by using Magnet or Cerebro. However, it is doable, and we do have several free tools that we can use. So if you're just getting started, then maybe play around with this and try to find some keywords yourself. And you can also do the same thing when you're doing Amazon ads. You can manually look for search terms like this to put in your Amazon ad campaigns. However, it is very time consumptive and a little bit challenging, which is why I say that having some sort of keyword research tool like Helium 10 or like Publisher Rocket it's going to save you hours and hours and hours and hours of research. So it may be worth it because time is money.